Welcome to Beyond the Business Card podcast.
Wow. We were going to shut the door and say goodbye. All of a sudden, we started seeing our orders just spike. And our whole idea is that essentially it becomes a house of like-minded brands of clean label products.
Okay.
That's the whole idea of what we thought to do from day number one.
Joining us today is Raja Abuljebain, CEO and founder of Essentially. Starting in 2012, he built a health and wellness business that's now publicly listed. We'll explore his journey from launch to listing and everything in between. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm very, very pleased to welcome my guest today, Raja Abuljebain.
Perfect.
Did I say that right?
Perfect.
Fantastic. I've known Raja for a while. He's a friend. He's a really successful businessman. He is a former nightclub owner, polo player, civil engineer, and the juice man of Dubai.
That's right.
Let's hear more about that. Raja, really nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me, buddy. I'm looking forward to this.
Not as much as I am.
I'm sure.
So, Raja, look, you've got such an interesting story.
Yeah.
Aside from obviously what you're doing with your juice company now, which
Yes.
we'll come on to.
Yes, sir.
I'm really fascinated to understand a bit about your origin story, actually. So what brought you to Dubai? What brought you to the region? Could you mind just sharing that with everyone so we've got a good idea of what your background is?
Yes, of course. I'm originally Palestinian. I'm born in Kuwait. After the Gulf War, we had to leave, so we went to Cyprus for a few years. After that, my father had opened up an office here in about 96, 97, so we started coming here more often than before. In 99, I went off to university in California State. I used to live in Orange County, amazing city. And then, of course, home became here when I came back, and that was it. So we've been here for quite a while. We saw the UAE, Dubai scale. Yeah, I could tell you stories about back then, but,
Okay, so,
different.
wow. So you were Palestinian, brought up in Kuwait,
Yes.
then lived in Cyprus.
I lived in the UK for 1 year, actually. I lived in Essex, up in Rumford. I was about 9 or 10 years old.
You lived in Romford?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a bit unlucky there, didn't you?
Yeah, younger, impressionable. I think I picked up a few things.
My mum's from Essex, by the way.
Oh, there
so
you
I
go.
Can say
there
that,
you go. No, lovely. Yeah, we had a good time. We were kids, man.
So UK and then
Cyprus.
And then Cyprus went to school in America.
And then went to university in America. Yeah.
And then back to Dubai.
And back to Dubai straight away, yeah.
Wow.
5 years in the US and came back. Studied civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
5-year course. Yeah, it was quite tough. But,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. And why did you do civil engineering?
Because the family business engineering.
Okay.
My father's engineer, my uncle's engineers, my brother's engineers. So I'm the oldest in the family. But I was, in the Arab world, you kind of just follow your father's path. And that was it. Yeah. We have it's quite a sizable engineering consulting business. We specialize in infrastructure, highways, bridges, roads, airport, predominantly in Africa. So I've been doing African tours since I finished university. We still have all our projects there. It's a lot of work. Good exposure to the world.
So you're a man who knows Africa well.
I shouldn't say that, but yeah, I do know it quite well. Yeah, I used to live on a plane for a while, but it was good. Yeah, visiting all the exotic locations.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah.
Where was the most exotic location you visited?
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone.
People ask me that all the time. Sierra Leone was at the time, man, things I'd never seen before in my life.
Wow.
It was pretty intense.
Okay.
Pretty intense. I haven't been back since, but a friend of mine just went to Sierra. He told me completely it's changed now. Just complete upgrade of the town. Freetown was. Wow.
Free?
Yeah, free. Free if you'd like to call it. Yeah, free. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, good times.
So, well-traveled man.
Yes.
Incredibly well-traveled man to exotic locations as well as some fairly civilized places there. Let's take Romford out of this.
Yes.
So you're in Dubai. You've obviously got your family's got a very successful family business. Would you mind just sharing a bit about that business so people can understand a bit more?
Yeah, we are civil engineering consultants. Again, I said our focus is on infrastructure, so highways, bridges, roads, airport. Let's say a specific country in Africa receives a loan from, let's say, the Kuwait fund, then goes out for tender for consultants. The consultant represents the client, which is the government, and then after that, a contractor is appointed, and then we supervise the project from A to Z. So from the design and supervision all the way to execution.
Gotcha. Wow.
That's been the bread and butter of the business, of the family business, for the last 40 something years.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you missed out an interesting stat that I was doing a bit of snooping about you, Raja.
Yes, go ahead.
At one point, the 5th largest tower was constructed by.
Cool. Yes. Yeah. The business was, there was the consultants, the lead consultants on the Kuwait telecommunication tower, which is still, I think, the still 5th or 6th now.
Is it?
Yeah, tallest tower in the world. It's top 10 for sure. I haven't checked that stat in a while, but yeah.
Okay, so brought up in this, and you've got how many siblings?
We're three.
Yeah. 3 boys?
3 boys, yeah.
Wow, 3 boys.
The youngest is 25, so between him and I, there's 18 years. But he's gone off to the banking world.
Okay.
He's I'm impressed by this kid. He's got grit.
You call him this kid. I love that.
Yeah, because I know a lot of other kids his age that I'm not impressed with at all. Yeah. But we'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, being brought up, obviously, in this really successful environment with quite, obviously, a very successful father.
Yes.
What sort of impact did that have on you?
A lot of impact. I mean, he was always on a plane when we were kids, but my mother took care of us. But it's always been somebody you admire. I mean, somebody who's been able to, take care of his family the way we've been taken care of, and work like you've never seen before. I mean, my father still lives on a plane. Still lives on an airplane, between hotel to hotel to airplane to meeting to meeting. Look, in any consulting business, it's all face to face. I don't even believe in now Skype and video calls. It doesn't work. It does work if you have to, but it's all client face to face meetings to get the job done at the end of the day. Consulting business, in any consulting field, this is what you have to do. So
you've got to look in the whites of someone's eyes.
You have to.
Yeah,
you have to. Yeah.
I've lived and worked in London, Singapore. And obviously in the Middle East as well. And I've always said to anyone that wants to establish a business or get recognized here that this is a place where people want to look in the whites in your eyes. 100%. They want to have coffee with you. They want to smoke shisha with you, smoke your hand.
The majlis. Here, the majlis, Emirati majlis, where it's very, very important that you attend majlis once every while, just to see who's there.
Right.
Just to say hello. Hey, buddy, how are you? What's going on here? How's the family doing this? What have you done here?
Yeah.
Oh, Raja, you have a beverage company now. Yes. Well, why don't we explore this? It's always good to pop into. I mean, I've been here for so long that I know quite a few Emiratis, so I can visit them in their majlises. But it's very, very important to do that.
So I know from talking to you and from talking to you, getting to know you, and also just from listening to some of the stuff that you've said, networking has been like the foundation. Of all your business success, by the sounds of it, like the network that you've kept, both in your sort of professional and in your sporting circles, which we'll come on to.
That,
okay, so obviously brought up in this impressive family, by the sounds of it.
Lots of work.
Father working very hard. Did you feel under pressure being sort of growing up in this environment, being the oldest boy?
Not really. The pressure was I didn't want to travel. I was a kid, man. I didn't want to travel as much as he did. So I always looked at other options that I could kind of not pivot away so much from the business, but at least I could sort of try to do my own ideas and my own ways. So I mean, I still have a trading business. I had a restaurant, nightclub at one time. It was very successful at the time, and of course now the juice business that we're involved in. So I've always had an angle to sort of not completely pivot away from the business, but at least to have something of my own that I could work on. Because in Arab world or in the family businesses, you're always sort of like, you have to follow the same path, which is fine. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it, and that's what I want to do. But I just just mentally, I figured I need to do something to set my mind at least a different. Sometimes you need different stimulation. So that's why we did.
But interestingly, it sort of sounds like you felt like that from a young age, because you've just rattled out quite a few things that you've done there. I know, from our conversations that you opened up a nightclub.
Yes.
How long ago was that?
2011, man.
2011. Yeah. Okay,
not so far from here.
Yeah. And previous to that, did you have any other sort of entrepreneurial adventures?
We had a trading business that I had opened up with a friend of mine and a cousin, and we used to trade small things, some cars here and there, and some commodities. Back then, the UAE was much more easy to operate a business, whether it's on a small scale or big scale. Like you could use anybody's trade license, for example. Now it's extremely difficult to get a general trading license. It's extremely difficult. So you could pivot off that and bound. So,
gotcha.
But we did a few. We tried, dabble here and there.
But I imagine because you're quite a well-traveled person, so I've been in the UAE for 16 years, right? I remember when I came here in 2008, one of the first things that I was like, wow, like they have just the things they had in the UK that you didn't have here, like home delivery now is outrageous, but it's
home delivery now is
it's taken off here.
Yeah.
But I remember the amount of gyms that the lifestyles and health and wellness and gyms in London. When I came to Dubai, I think that you could only go to a crappy Fitness First, or if you're lucky, your sort of your tower had a half knackered gym in it.
Gym, yeah.
Now it's like health and wellness has gone through the roof here.
We found that the UAE or the UK is about 8 years, and the US is about 8 years ahead of the UAE. And still now, that was then. Yeah. Now it's just completely taken over. But the trends that are happening. So in our business, we try to watch the trends that are happening in Australia and the US, California, New Zealand, California, New York, excuse me.
Yeah,
and then whatever is happening in Sydney, and that sort of sets our trend in our business.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I think so. I think Dubai, like, you've obviously seen what's going on in the world, and you've moved here and you've tried to create something the way you've seen elsewhere.
Correct.
Sounds like it's been a big part of who you've become as an entrepreneur. Yes. So, but let's just join the dots for everyone then. So you've joined your families. You've gone to school. Did you say in California?
California, yes. California
okay.
State.
What did you do there? Civil engineering. Civil engineering. Came out civil engineering. Straight into the family.
Straight into the family business.
Okay. Got this entrepreneurial itch. You clearly need to scratch. You got a trading company that gets set up.
Yes.
What happens then?
I don't know. You start to. That's it. So from there, I had the trading company.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was still fully focused on the family business. I mean, working quite hard. Still traveling, still working.
Yeah.
And then from there, I had an itch of, I've always wanted to go into the entertainment business. So we opened a nightclub and restaurant. That was something that was very successful at the time.
So I know quite a few people that open up nightclub businesses, and it always sounds incredibly glamorous. But actually, everyone I've spoken to who's run a nightclub business actually tells me they had a sales and marketing business, because it was, it was
trying to drive
hard
traffic to the
slog.
door.
Yeah, a very competitive market,
very competitive.
A lot of staff, a lot of drama.
Oh yeah,
aside from the punters.
You're working 2 jobs, huh? You work a day job, and you have to be there in the evening as well, and not in the evening from like 6 to midnight. No, you have to be there from midnight till 3-4 a.m. So that kind of starts eating into your lifestyle, right? Into your life habits.
Yeah.
So it's and you need to be there. You're one of the owners. You need to be there. Your partner. You need to see people, shake their hand.
Yeah. Were you the main guy then running?
No, main guy is gentleman, and then I was a partner, and we had another partner.
Okay, okay. So you weren't the face of.
I was one of the faces of, but not the main. Not the main guy.
I mean, so what do you think you learned from running that nightclub that's been transferable?
I never want to enter a new nightclub ever again. I don't even want to enter a club anymore. If that's what I learned, that's exactly what I learned. I can't even go out now. I mean, but that's no. But look,
so I think it's fair to say you burnt the candle at both ends.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Telling me now to go out is pretty much impossible. Well, I think what I learned is that you have to continue new ideas, new concepts, service. I mean, there was just nightclubs that were opening up left and right here. They were just coming in with this extremely high level of service, influx of people from Europe that were flying in the service industry. It just the game went really high very, very quickly, and we were struggling to keep up, to catch up to that.
Okay.
And I think the location wasn't was the prime location then, but then things started expanding different sides of the city, and it became like a struggle to get people to come in. And we're talking after the first 4 or 5 years. So the first 4 or 5 years were good fun.
Yeah. So you had a good run.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say you think did you get complacent, or just the market just got ridiculous?
Market changed and we got complacent, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Market change and complacent. That's natural. Every club has a cycle. Every nightlife has a cycle.
I don't just think it's nightclubs, actually, Raja. I think, complacency in business can set in.
Correct.
I mean, I can speak again from my own experience when I got MCG really sort of running in 2010. I thought everything I was doing between 2010 and 2015 was, everything I did turned to gold, right? And then I decided to...
Invincible, right?
Yeah.
You do whatever.
And then reality, as it always does, decided to sort of slap me in the face. The market became more competitive. I became... I hadn't really had that many failures at that point, so I sort of believed in my own hype. And I think complacency really set in, and it was... I've always said complacency is the devil, in business. So that's an interesting lesson that you learned from that. Anything else you took from that experience?
I mean, there's a few. I mean,
maybe not going out.
Yeah, not going out. But we'll touch on a few points later. I'm sure they'll come up.
Maybe moving away from the nightclub business.
Moving away completely from nightclub business, but I enjoyed it. We had such a good time.
Okay.
It was a good time.
You've moved in also, aside from obviously being involved in the family office, you've moved into the health and wellness,
correct.
business. Now, any link between perhaps burning the candle at both ends and then going into the health and wellness business?
What's funny is that people have actually approached us to see if they can do an alcoholic fresh beverage now, and I'm looking at it like yes, and at the same time, no.
A bead of sweat comes off your forehead. Flashbacks.
Yeah. But so in 2015, my business partner, I was California at the time. He was somewhere, I think, in New York, and we both came back, and we said, "Man, there's like a juice bar in every corner now. I mean, it's like a Starbucks. Unbelievable. Do you want to start a juice company?" We both looked at each other. I said, "Yeah, why not? Let's give it a crack. Let's go." It was called Cold Press Juice Company, KPJK, in glass bottles because we wanted to be more sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
It was one size, about half a liter, 500 ml, and we just started. Came up with a few recipes. We found ourselves a kitchen. We got ourselves a cold press machine. And we started producing juice. So we started going to the markets, ripe markets. Have you ever done the ripe markets? Oh yeah, I've done plenty of those in early hours of the morning when I was.
Were you at those ripe markets?
Yes, myself
in the apron.
Myself,
wow.
Yes, sir. I used to do it myself
wow.
from the nightclub.
To
the market. Burning the candle at all ends. I guess that it was good. It was good business at the time. But the issue with a juice business or any fresh fruit or fresh juice business is shelf life. So in about 2018, we sort of merged with essentially what you see in front of you here, Juices Manufacturing. And a beautiful piece of technology came online called an HPP machine, high pressure processing machine. This allowed us to extend the shelf life of anything with moisture really for an extended amount of time. So our juices went from 3-day shelf life to 28 days. This completely changed the retail game completely for us, right? No more returns. Now, the problem with this is that you can't use glass bottles because in the machine will just expend extreme pressure onto the bottle will shatter. So we had to find high quality plastic bottles to withstand the pressure of the machine. And the market sort of immediately absorbed what we were doing. There was only one company here that had bought a HPP machine that was in Silicon Oasis. Mm-hmm. They don't exist anymore. So I think I digress there a little bit. So we ended up buying essentially Juices Manufacturing and putting cold press juice onto the side. We still have our recipes and all the IP is still with us. We will come up with those recipes again into our new juices that are coming online. The original founders, the husband and wife, they had enough of Dubai and they wanted to go back home. So we took on the.
And what year was that?
In 2018, 2019.
Okay.
So we took over the business from them. I think at the time we were doing something like, I don't know, 1,000 bottles, not even 1,000 bottles a day. Today we're doing, depending on the day, probably 6, 7, 8,000 bottles, depending on the client and the day.
Wow.
So we really scaled the business from a somewhat of an engine that could to where we are today. The difference is that people started, especially COVID helped us out a lot. Funny enough, we thought we were going to shut the business down in COVID, but people start now reading labels, right? So people want to understand what they're consuming, what they should drink versus what they could drink.
Mm-hmm.
Education, I guess, and it took a while to get people to understand what a cold press juice is without preservatives or additives, and what extended shelf life was, because people, once they see 28 days, definitely put something in here. So educating people on, no, this is HPP process, high pressure processing. We literally bottle cap label. The bottle goes into a chamber. The chamber applies extreme pressure, and in effect delays the aging process of juice.
Gotcha.
Now, once you open this juice up, it's 3-day shelf life, but until then, you still have 28-day shelf life product. From there, we realized that there's also an opportunity to get into the food business or into snacks, healthy snacks. So I think I brought them out here, but
I've already eaten one. They are delicious.
Thank you very much. But we found that most of the snacks, healthy snacks, and I hate the word healthy. I really hate it because you can stick the word healthy on any label and people people just consume it, right?
Okay.
Healthy Cheerios.
Cheerios
are far from healthy, right? Far from healthy. Pop-Tarts. Remember Pop-Tarts?
I do.
Healthy Pop-Tarts. Right. Well, so we started producing these bites, and they're not chocolate covered. Like if you look at the rest of the market, everybody coats them with chocolate, I guess, to preserve shelf life. But so we came up with the reception of these has been fantastic so far,
and that's being well received.
Very, very, very well.
So you're no longer just the juice king.
Yes,
you are the healthy snacks king.
Yes, exactly.
Not healthy snacks king.
Snacks king. Yes.
Okay. And the avocado king.
And the avocado, yes, I mean, there's so much to tell you. Then last year we acquired an avocado trading business called Best of Latin Food Trading Stuff. It's quite a long title.
Yeah, very catchy.
Yes, this lady, she's been importing, besides avocados, all exotic fruits and vegetables and herbs from Latin America that we wouldn't know about, that Latin chefs here require for the restaurants, whether it's Koya Zuma. And we've been in touch with her for quite a while. She actually introduced us to the first company that had the HPP machine back in 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
And she's built this business, and she supplies high quality premium avocados. Now, avocados is a different game completely. Avocado is almost like farming wine. You know, it's all about the terroir, the sun, how much water they get, how early you harvest, how late you harvest. The later you harvest, the more nutrients the avocado absorbs. Yeah. Where they're coming from. It is a whole new game. So she's been importing high-end avocados, and she's able to mature them as they are. So avocados arrive rock hard, right?
Well, I like the dark ones. What are they called? Hass.
Yes. Yeah, Mexican Hass.
Are you
yes,
Hass?
So we only import Hass avocados.
Yeah,
right?
Good.
So the trick is how do you ripen the avocados? You can use a ripening chamber, or you can naturally ripen them. So the trick is how to manage your stock. Sometimes you need to accelerate the ripening. Sometimes you need to slow down the ripening, the aging. And she sort of mastered that
the ripening of avocados.
Yes.
Wow.
Now her company is now completely moved into our facility.
Yeah.
We are building our own ripening chambers inside Essentially Manufacturing.
Okay.
You should come visit. It's a fantastic setup. We should have done this there, actually. It would have been amazing. We should do a walkthrough.
Yeah, next time
we do that. So our whole idea is that essentially it becomes a house of like-minded brands of clean label products.
Okay.
That's the whole idea of what we thought to do from day number one.
Okay. Yeah. So we have just gone from nightclubs to
accelerating quickly.
Business, There's quite a lot to unpack here.
Yes.
And I'm intrigued. A big part of why I'm doing this is around the sort of the mindset of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I guess how experiences have, obviously experiences that we've had, failures that we've had, how one thing leads to another, right? Yeah. So you've had your nightclub experience. Yeah. Obviously, you learned a lot of lessons from that. You've moved into the health and wellness space. But Raja, I'm intrigued, right? You're in why this need to pursue like opening up a new business? Why do you want to build out obviously clearly a really ambitious an amazing cold press venture and a house of brands now if you just positioned it? Like some people might be listening just going, well, Raja's all right, he's he comes from this really successful background of civil engineering. What's motivating him to want to do this? Because you hear a lot of entrepreneur stories where it's had a tough life or grew up in the estate or but you've come from it from a different angle, and I'm really intrigued by this. And you've sort of fast forwarded quite a few amazing things that not a lot of people have done, right?
Yeah.
And the way you speak about it,
in this city, in this country, is quite. It is quite difficult. Look, for me, I've always wanted to be I'm an expat. As long as I have been here, I'm still an expat, and I wanted to sort of prove to myself and to the city that as an expat kid, that I could do something like this. Now, entering the nightclub business, that was a bit of fun, but entering the health and wellness space and doing what we're doing is quite impressive for a non-Emirati, starting off.
Amazing.
So I wanted to do this. This is a passion of mine, to just show, I guess, the rest of the world in the UAE that even an expat kid like myself could do something at this level.
Yeah. And you decided to play in F&B, which is like notorious for being one of the most competitive cutthroat markets in the world. So, I mean, why did you choose to go down such a complicated path?
It just made sense. We saw the market trend. Like I said before, we always watching what's going on in the US and in Australia, and we realized that this was the direction people were going. Like I said, people are now reading what's in the label.
Yeah.
And I believe the current offering, other than of course Essentially, isn't producing or offering a premium product.
Yeah.
I can keep saying that I'm a premium brand, but the consumer is demanding a premium product.
Yeah.
I can keep telling you, actually, thanks to Leo for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, the consumer is demanding a premium product.
Yeah.
I can keep saying we're a premium brand till tomorrow morning, but now people are itching for quality. People like their quality of clothes. They want the food. They enjoy what's in the bottle. All these bottles are high quality biodegradable bottles now. So it's just I don't know. We just captured that market, and we just wanted to.
So you saw a gap.
We saw a big gap.
By the way, I don't know if I think I've told you this, but just so everyone is aware, Mrs. McGuire and I were potentially one of your first customers if it was 2018.
Okay.
Because Mrs. McGuire was very keen for me to go on a 3 or 5 day juice detox.
Yes.
Anyone that knew me at that time did not enjoy my company, by the way, because juice detoxes are quite a tough thing to put yourself through. But so you acquired the business around that time?
We acquired essentially, but we had our own brand, and we acquired essentially.
That's just amazing. But a big question I've got is, how do you just go about acquiring a business? You've obviously glossed over what many people would not know how to do.
Two businesses.
How do you acquire a juice company? How did you go about it?
Essentially was a bit more straightforward than acquiring a business, an operating business. The founders needed to exit. They just had enough of Dubai and they wanted to go home. So it was just a matter of making a deal with them.
It's like low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, making a deal with them. And then at the time we had to decide, do we want to continue with this business, or do we want to just, shut shop and that's it? We had a good run. But we knew essentially had captured quite a bit of market share here. We knew we could scale it to what it is today and what it's going to be tomorrow, day after, next week, next year.
Yeah.
We put our heads together. Of course, you require funding, so we've self-funded that acquisition. Trying to raise money here in the UAE is quite difficult, and banks are quite difficult to deal with as well.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think they look at SMEs especially in our space, like, no, really? Why would we be doing? Why would we? And this whole, I think AI, people like, if we always joke about it, if we wanted to open a juice farm on a cloud in the space, I could probably raise $200 million tomorrow morning with that idea, just as a concept. But telling you to, I need to borrow some money for a product that's already existing on the shelf, and these are my sales. Oh no, I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. But
really, it's
been really difficult run, really, especially dealing with banks. Interest rates are through the roof, and
so you put your own money on the line with your partner, to buy essentially, and go for it,
yes.
So that must have been pretty scary.
Yeah, it's still scary,
really,
because of course, I've got employees. I have to answer. Excuse me, I have to answer to my own employees.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
When you start now, we have something like 28 employees. What do I do at the end of the month?
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
And it's become very normal in the UAE to delay payments. And it's very normal to not pay.
Yeah.
It's become quite normal business to just say, oh, I'm not going to pay you this month, or I'm going to delay it next month, or signature is not here, signature's on holiday, or bank prop. I mean, the amount of excuses that we hear. And you're talking about the big players here, not the small ones, the big players. And of course, that puts a lot of pressure on yourself and on the business. But, we're managing. We're okay. We're managing. We're growing the business. We're hiring regularly.
So when you acquired the business and put your money on the line, what was, if you can remember that period, what was one of the scariest moments that you had during that time?
I'm broke again. No, I mean, look, you gotta put your money where your mouth is, right? So we said we're going to do this. So either you do it or you don't do it, right? So you can't just, excuse my language, half-ass a business or half-ass an investment. Yeah. Either you're going full scale, or don't do it at all. At the end of the day, a business is not a business if you're not scaling. So the business needs operating capital to scale. So, and regularly we keep funding the business from our pockets. Every time we want to acquire some new machinery, bottling, capping, labeling. Well, that's going to require some funding.
Yeah.
So it's a daily challenge in a manufacturing business, but we're there.
I mean, you're a brave man, Raja, because obviously that in business that you've decided to invest. I mean, I set up a recruitment business. Really, all I needed to set up that recruitment business is a laptop, not even an office,
desk,
a laptop, a desk, and a phone, right, and a contact book.
Correct.
You decided to buy a business,
manufacturing business,
a cold press machine,
machines, HVP machine,
warehousing. I mean, that's a significant amount of risk.
We decided not to go brick and mortar on the Sheikh Zayed Road or Beach Road or what are these. I didn't want to be a slave to my landlord, so we have a warehouse, state of the art facility in Al Quoz. And we upgraded that facility there, and that's where we hold base. So we produce per order. Yes, there's always excess, but we don't produce excess juice It's whatever orders are of the day is what we produce.
Gotcha.
Keep our margin,
And out of interest, so has this business been? I know obviously you've gone on a journey of listing, and we'll talk about that. But previous to that, was it all self-financed, or did you have to raise capital with investors?
No, self-financed, and then borrowed money from the bank.
Right.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So Raja, that's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
But tell us a bit about you in terms of your life in the UAE then, because I'm one of the things that I love about the UAE is the network that it's built, being surrounded by entrepreneurs. Do you feel like being in the UAE has given you the guts and the ambition to go and do what you've done?
Well, it's an international community here, so I can speak to anyone, right? Yeah. It just makes it so easy for people to integrate with any culture from anywhere. You can travel the world. You probably speak a few, restaurant languages, here and there, because you picked up from here. So it's very easy to just go to speak to people and to see what they're doing. It's I find that just this city, this country, we have to stop saying this city. Yeah. This country is just amazing. They've really brought in a.
And what tips would you give? So networking is something that I love doing. It's I think it's a skill that I was blessed with, and it's certainly something that I try and make the most of being here in the UAE. I join clubs, societies. I mean, you and I are members of the same club.
Yes.
What tips could you give to people to network out here? How could they obviously that we know there's a plethora of opportunities here, but not a lot of people know how to really take advantage of that. What would you recommend they do? And also you're a keen sportsman as well.
Yes.
And I'd be interested to see how that's helped.
Yeah, we'll touch on that. That was quite that really got me to where we are today. That look, for me, it's just I'm a boy about town, so I've been here forever, so I know everyone. I can knock at anybody's door. So maybe I have had an easier time of networking than most people. Anytime somebody comes, once I click on their LinkedIn, I can immediately catch some connection to who I need to get to. It's just because I've been here forever. I'm not going out as much. I haven't joined as many clubs as maybe you have, but I still go as members clubs, as in members club as you have. But I still go to the events. I enjoy wine club, for example. I do that. Of course, Polo will get there. That opened a lot of opportunities for me. Members clubs. That just being around, man.
Okay, Polo. Tell me about Polo. What sort of impact has Polo had?
Polo used to be quite exciting when you're a kid and you start playing this new sport. That's just the adrenaline is insane. But after 20 years of playing Polo, it's just like it's another day. It's another job. Now people think that Polo, it's all glamour, glitz and glamour. But
well, they do. I mean, it is. It
is. Yeah, it is quite fun playing. To a crowd in white jeans and boots. People, but it turns out to be a job and a responsibility, and you have to manage your horse. You have to manage your stable. It's not all. Yeah, of course. You have two extremes. You have the budget polo players, and you have polo players that have infinite budget that they have people to manage their sport. But
I fell into football and rugby. Okay, how did you fall into polo?
You want to laugh? I was leaving Saint-Tropez. must have been 23 years old, and I got stuck in traffic in front of the Saint-Tropez Polo Club that was on my left. What's funny is I was going from Saint-Tropez to Paris to Burkina Faso. Ouagadougou is the capital of Burkina Faso. Ouagadougou, in case you want to say that 3-4 times. And I'm looking at this guy some Argentine who had long hair, white jeans, hitting a ball off a horse, stick and bowling, they call it. It's like, I can do this. I had long hair at the time. Good looking guy. It's quite easy, no? I could probably pick this up no time. So I flew to Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou.
Yeah.
I think it was like end of August, and I Googled how to play Polo Dubai when I was there, and the internet connection was terrible. So it was, dial-up connection. We're talking 2006.
Yeah.
And I Googled and came up Dubai Polo Equestrian Club. Coach's name Steve Thompson. Hello, Steve. And that was it. I started that journey then. But I took polo quite seriously. So I have a handicap. I'm 43 years old now, so I'm
very young.
Yeah, still young, but a professional handicap. The journey's taking me. I mean, this opened doors, incredible doors. I mean, the network that I've been able to get to access is just infinite. Really,
imagine it is very well.
It is the passport to the world. Polo is the passport to the world. Yes,
really.
Yeah, I played all over the world. I played in Spain, the US, England, Argentina, South Africa, here in the UAE, of course.
Yeah.
And
how's that helped you in business?
Well, if I didn't play polo, I would never have met Mohammed Habtour, and we opened the club together. That's for sure. If I didn't play polo, I would never met my business partner. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's two pretty influential
that's two
contacts.
yeah. I mean, people along the way that have helped me through what through our journey. People that I need access to, all through polo.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
It is really the passport to the world.
I've always felt that networking clubs, sports clubs, members, like it's something that you can really, you should take advantage.
100%. I should do more, to be honest. I'm just not enough hours in the day, to be honest. I'm sure you know.
You're a busy guy.
You're a busy guy. I'm in the office at 8 o'clock, and I try to leave at 4:30 before traffic.
Yeah,
I'd like to stay till 6, but then traffic's become quite ridiculous.
So you obviously the business is going. Essentially, Juices, you've acquired it. Correct. It's obviously growing. Things are going well. You've got this lovely network across Dubai. Things are going. Life's good, right?
Life is good. Hard work.
COVID happens. You survived. We survived. What was the key to surviving during COVID?
Everybody wanted to boost nutrition and vitamins, and so people were just consuming juice like it was going out of fashion.
Wow.
Everybody wanted to boost their immunity. So we came up with, I have the shots are over there, but we came up with the immune booster packs. People were just buying them left and right, and then people got to know exactly what Essentially is all about. And
would you say it helped make your business, COVID?
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely helped.
Wow.
We were going to shut the door and say goodbye. And all of a sudden we started seeing our orders just spike. And
so imagine for an F&B company, a growing F&B company during COVID, where you think you're going to be shut down, all of a sudden you're going seeing record spikes. The issue that you must have had must have been logistics.
Yes.
How did you get through that?
Logistic nightmare, especially during COVID. But we all had these passes, so we all got passes from the municipality.
But what about the staff? I mean,
staff were allowed to visit. Yeah, the staff were allowed to go to work. They were considered like what are they called? They had some wording, like emergency staff.
Juicing was emergency.
Juicing, yeah, because I was
emergency juicing.
Yes, I was producing a wellness product, so immune boosting product. So they were like, "Yeah, you pass straight away, stamp, go."
Wow. Yeah. And how were people buying your product then? And they were online
and retail? I think through was it Kipson's? Kipson's did quite good for us. All the online retailers were doing quite good for us, and then all through our websites.
Yeah. Yeah. What an incredible period of time that is.
Boosts, yeah.
I mean, so from a recruitment perspective, I was in Singapore at the time, and I distinctly, I would always remember this, having a conversation with Adam, because in Asia, we obviously, it's like we kind of, pardon the pun, we saw the tsunami coming, right? Yeah. Way sooner than anyone else. And when it smashed us, really, at the time, my business partner who's in Hong Kong and we were both in Asia. So, and I hadn't sorted out my succession in Dubai because I was going backwards and forwards then. So I got cut off from what was our main office. And Dubai hadn't really hit what we were suffering. And at the time, I was also part of I had a 50% business in Amsterdam and had an investment in London as well. And I was calling up these guys. I was like, look, I was like the air raid siren. I was like, listen, you do not know what's coming here, but I think it's going to be destructive. Like, stop, basically stop everything you're doing. And I had literally thought remember saying to Adam, let's just close the business for 6 months and see what happens at the end of it.
Yeah.
And we had a very serious conversation about that. And it did go quiet for 2 months. And then all of a sudden, month 3, it was like the phone, like the bat line fired up, and everyone needed e-commerce specialists. Everyone needed digital folks. And we were able to obviously get through the year. Yep. Your business thrived at that time.
Yeah.
So you've now obviously got a more profitable business.
Yes.
You've invested further into it.
Yes.
It's growing. You've now got a listed business.
Yes.
Right. So I don't know many people with a listed business, and I know for legal reasons you can't go into many ins and outs.
Yeah.
However, I think it's be fascinating for people to understand what goes. Why would you? I run a successful business, right? Why would I choose to list my business versus choosing to sell it? What went through your mind? What's the reason and rationale?
People have more confidence in investing in a business that is regulated, especially regulated by the UK stock exchange. So
you decided to list in the UK?
Yes, we are listed in the UK on the Aquis Exchange. We listed on St. Paddy's Day, March 17th, 2023.
A proud day for you, I'm sure.
A proud day. Yeah. I got to bang the drum, or the gong, as they call it. There's a funny story to that, but we'll tell you later.
Yeah.
And Yes. So we did it. Really, we want essentially Group PLC to be a house of brands, right? So that's why we acquired the avocado business, and there's a lot of things coming on the horizon. So the just to give comfort to an investor and having a listed company on the UK stock exchange gives everybody confidence to go ahead and invest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there many UAE companies listed in the UAE?
No, I'm not sure.
Sorry, UAE businesses listed in
No,
the UK?
I'm not sure. There's many, and we're listed on the Aquis exchange, which is a smaller exchange. But we are in the process of moving up the exchanges.
Okay.
To access more liquidity in the market, so in the UK markets, and maybe even cross this into Europe to get some European investors on board and some new shareholders. And that's the whole idea, is just to get essentially to a point where we're a house of brands. Yes, we are here in the UAE, but I mean, we're even looking at acquiring businesses that are in Europe.
Okay.
Yes. So just to come under the umbrella as a wellness brand.
So it's a vehicle that which you can grow the business and open
Correct.
up international markets.
Correct.
Fantastic. But what? So okay. So you've realised, you've sat there, gone, okay, we want to grow. Essentially, we've decided that listing's the way to go about it. Okay. You are a civil engineer. You run a nightclub. You now run a health and wellness business. What the hell do you know about listing a business?
Well, thank God for my corporate advisor. Thank God for them, because they manage pretty much all relations with the UK stock exchange. Just now you have to answer to shareholders, so everything's got to be.
So you bring in advisors, and they tell you that listing's the best way to go about it.
Listing's the best way to go about it.
Okay, and then they tell you what that's going to cost.
Yeah, the costs are astronomical. Yeah, especially the first year of listing, the fees are quite high. Then the second year and third year, they start to taper down a little bit, but the fees are quarterly in the UK, unlike here.
Could you disclose what we're talking here in terms of amounts?
I'd rather not.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yes. It is a full-on investment.
Yeah.
But we managed to raise money, so that was okay. So we managed to offset that. That's fine. And we're off to the races, we call it. Yeah, so we're okay.
Okay, and so now you've got this listed business. You're growing essentially as a market leader in the UAE.
In the UAE, yes.
Where are you taking it? What's the vision?
I would like to take it across the border. There is a plan to go to Saudi. We need to think about this seriously in the next coming months. The problem is it's logistics. So if I set off today by truck from here to Saudi Arabia, you have to think at least 3-4 days in transit. That's eating away from my shelf life, right? So, so for a product with it's not short, 28-day shelf life, still take away from my shelf life. So we are in discussions with some people on ideas, of course, how we can tackle that. Or we just go set up shop there. But Saudi Arabia is something that I don't know, is a country I have no idea about. So I know it's across the border, a couple hours drive from here, but that'll be a new venture that we
get a warehouse there.
A warehouse there. I mean, replicating the business isn't very difficult, but it's just access to the market there. UAE's, I don't know how many million people. The Saudi Arabia, what are they? 35 million. Yeah. So I mean, if the top
and health and wellness is big, I know now from there, it's big.
Yeah,
it's big.
It's now becoming very big there. So yes, it is an idea that we'd like to go. It's something we need to discuss and execute very, very soon.
Can I ask why can't you just fly it there? It's an hour and 20 flight.
Cost.
Right. So what's the difference? Is it sizable?
Yeah, it's sizable. I mean, we are still we are priced at a premium in the premium sector, right? So we're a few more dirhams more expensive than your average juice brand here.
Okay.
So if I was to fly, it's going to eat into my margin.
Your margins are gone. Exactly. Okay, fine. Yeah. And so you've obviously got your avocado business and you've got the food. Okay, is that easier to transport? What's the logistics wise of getting it?
Yeah, because avocado comes.
And is your plan to get those out?
Yes.
Okay, so essentially you might not be the first brand that goes international in the house of brands. Then.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's something with 2025 is these decisions need to be made.
Okay.
And of course we're expanding into the food business as well. So we're going to expand our healthy food offering shortly. I mean, we're knee deep in fruit and vegetable daily. So of course, what comes a byproduct of juices, trying to do something in the fruit and vegetable sector. Of course, we have an HPP machine, which allows us to extend the shelf life of any product that we come up with. We are in advanced R&D stage of a few things that will be on the shelf shortly.
Okay. So what's the end goal, Raja? Like this is like turning into something like quite a beast.
Yeah, I don't think that any of us thought we'd get here. to this stage, and it's only getting bigger because it's just a matter of signing more contracts with bigger clients and taking that market position to the top. I didn't think anyone knew that we'd get here. So now it's just, do we continue growing this business, or eventually, I mean, everybody wants to say, yeah, let's sell to Coca-Cola, something like that. But I don't know if we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you what the end game is. For me right now is just growing the business as a house of brands, and conquer the world. See where we go from here.
So we're a similar age, right?
Yes.
I'm slightly older than you.
Yes,
don't worry, I'll say that.
It's
worry.
all right. 43. I don't mind.
Yeah,
you're good looking for 43. Yeah. I don't know many people in their 40s that are good looking as us. But
listen. So what I'm intrigued by is like, and I say this as someone who runs a business, like dealing with stress. Okay. Now, Raja and I have got to know each other from the gym, from working out. So obviously, your health and wellness is important
Very
to
important.
you. But I think a lot of people, particularly aspiring entrepreneurs or current entrepreneurs, I think a lot of people struggle with knowing when to switch off, balance, juggling, home life, like free time, work life. Like you have gone through some, like,
as of you, and you have a family. I don't have a family. You've got kids here.
Well, yeah, but it's something that I talk quite openly that sometimes is very tough.
I admire what you do with your kids. It's very, very good.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And my wife's obviously built and sold a company in our house. So stress has been something that we are acutely aware of and constantly trying to deal with. Also, like sleep. I think that's something that,
very important.
Some of the things you've just explained, like when do you sleep, man? So how, like, help explain.
It's into your social life, no, but you have to make. I try to sleep by 9:30. I want to be in bed.
9:30.
And we get up. I get up at 4:30. I'm in the gym at 6 and just get out of the way in the office before 8:00.
Yeah,
and that's how my life's been for the last 3-4 years. And thank Carlo, thank all my friends that are in the gym, and it becomes almost like a responsibility to each other. You're accountable to be there. Even there's mornings I don't even want to. This morning I didn't go because yesterday I started a swim squad. I figured I've a really bad tennis elbow, so I'm going to find another sport to do for the time being. And I just did. I got up this morning. I was just absolutely finished. Have you tried to swim lately?
No. Well, I take my kids swimming, but I haven't joined swim squad.
Have you tried to do a couple laps in an Olympic pool?
Yeah, it's very tiring. A lot more tiring than
go to 2 laps and come back. Yeah. I came back. I was finished. Yeah, I'm playing polo every day in the gym every day. It's completely different fitness. But but I was exhausted from that. But it is very, very important. I think you need to manage a stressful life. You need to do some kind of sport or activity that gets your mind away from your phone. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I'm on my phone all the time.
Yeah,
and just distracts you completely and put you in a positive mindset or more competitive mindset, just to release some endorphins that you're probably building up in your system.
Is there any tips you could share to people about switching off? I mean, I imagine you've got shareholders to answer to, your phone.
And we answer to the UK, which is now 3 hours and soon to be 4 hours.
Yeah. So you're going to be getting calls into the night.
Yeah. So we try to work with them, guys. Please, please call us. I mean, unless it's emergency, please get in touch with us a bit earlier in the day. Switching off, I can't tell you I'm switching off. Right now, I am stressed at the moment. So I'm literally sitting on TV. I get home and watch TV and sort of scroll just to kind of zone out, because I have to be so on point in the day. From 8:00 in the morning, we are just focused. One partner deals with the operating business, and one I deal with the PLC at the moment. That's how we're sort of managing our time.
Yeah.
That's how it is. But I am under a bit of stress these days, so I couldn't tell you that I'm doing. I shouldn't be giving too much advice, but sleep. Get walking. Well, walking is another thing. Walking. What I discovered walking changed my life completely.
Why is that?
And again, you're away from your phone. Put it in a podcast. Half the time, you're not even listening to what's in. Right. You just need time to think, and you just kind of start getting your steps in. You start with 5,000 steps, and you think, oh, that's a lot, and then it's not really that much, and then you get to 10,000 steps, and then you get to 15,000 steps, and 20,000 steps. So I'm trying to get 15 to 20,000 steps a day, which isn't that difficult. If I look at my watch right now, probably already at 5,000. So it's
difficult in Dubai, what many people don't realize.
Man, there's no excuse. Everybody lives in the community. I live next to Kite Beach. So for me, I walk down to Kite Beach and do my 10,000 steps there. And I put my watch on and do my 10,000 steps there. I don't count my day of whatever I've done through the day from the morning till I go. No, so I make sure that I go walk that 7 kilometers, which is roughly 10,000 steps after I take off my watch or put it on, So I try to get So I don't think that this is the, I don't want to look at it and say, oh, I've already done 10,000 steps and then that's enough.
Okay.
And man, sometimes you need just time by yourself. My girlfriend and I would go walking, just need to de-stress. Just not, when you're walking, there's always something going on, right? You're always distracted by people walking, or you may come up with this guy, there's volleyball going on this way. So it kind of, just, you need a bit of.
I completely agree. And probably some of the people in this room have had messages from me early morning or late at night when I've been exercising and the brain's suddenly gone.
Especially, but I have a dream of doing a walking podcast. I keep saying I'm going to do it. Walk with me, because I like to walk and talk. I could talk all day long. If you haven't noticed. Why not start up? Walk up and down Kite Beach, and you and I would just talk. And I don't want to interview like celebrities. I want to interview somebody like yourself. Tell me your story. Or I know I have a doctor friend of mine. I want to know what her story. I don't. I'm not. I don't want the celebrity or the the CEO. Let's just talk. Leopold, for example. How did you get into that business? How did you become a
Well, if you episode 1, we dive into that actually. So. Thanks for talking about health and wellness. There's one other thing I just want to cover off with you before we wrap things, because I think you've talked about doing lots of different things here, and obviously my strength, for example, in our business, I think I'm a good sales and marketing person. Okay, I'm a rubbish financier. I'm terrible at admin. Anyone that works with me will agree with me on that part. But I've obviously ported in a great team that can help me out with that.
Correct. That's so important.
Where did you to do the things that you've done?
Correct.
What sort of people have you had to bring in, and what can people learn from the art of delegation? Obviously, you've become a bit of a master at delegation by the sounds of it.
Yes.
What can people learn from that?
Well, we started bringing in, and maybe you have to pay them more than others, but we started bringing in like technocrats in their positions. So we have we took somebody from a distribution company. We took him on board. So now he manages the face-to-face position or discussions with our clients, especially the big ones like Spinneys, Waitrose, all the supermarkets, etc., the petrol stations. So he handles that. That was a big step that we did, because before we didn't know what we were doing. And to be honest, you don't understand their numbers, back end, front end, margin, fridge space, storage space, this space, delivery times. Things are, things that you never even heard about in your life are things that we deal with every single day, just to get a product from here to on the shelf, right?
Oh, man, I can't imagine it.
Quality control team. We have an A grade thanks to my quality control team. So we're one of the few manufacturing businesses that has an A grade from Dubai municipality. It's very, very difficult to get, but when we get random checks, because we're an A grade, people say, "Oh, how did essentially get an A grade?" So we get lots of people coming through the door regularly just to do a spot check. I'm sure other companies are complaining because they can't get an A grade like we have. But so essentially we buy only A grade. So what you see on the shelves of Spinneys and Waitrose, for example, apples and oranges, etc., is what we produce, what we use to produce our juices.
Yeah.
You could use a B and C grade orange.
Yeah.
Taste doesn't change, right? If anything, it's actually sweeter because it's more ripe. But we refuse to do that. We only buy the highest quality produce, which costs us more money, eats into my margin, but we maintain that high standard premium brand position.
But where do you find these people?
Sorry, going back to people. It is difficult. We just hired somebody now that I find that she's not really, what's the word I'm looking for? She's a bit young, but so you get to the new generation that's coming through. Either they've got grit, like my brother.
Yeah,
he doesn't care. He's in DIFC every day trying to get a job.
Yeah,
banking, finance. He's moved from here because he's the young one. So he started a job, and then the first one you want to exit if you're closer is always the young guy, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He's in there every day. He's emailing. He's calling. That kid has grit.
Okay,
Yeah. What somebody said to me the other day, what is the difference between the top 5 tennis players and everybody else? It's positive mindset between match points.
Yeah.
So he's got that. He doesn't care. You can tell him whatever he's got. And then there's other people. There's no initiative. There's something called Google. Yeah. You don't know something, Google it. Yeah. You're the young one in the office.
Yeah.
Show me initiative.
Okay.
If I'm in the office at 8 o'clock, you think it's wise for you? I didn't say you have to, office hours are between 9 and 5. But if we're in the office at 8 o'clock, you think it's wise to show up at 8:45 or 9:10 or 9:15?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's wise. So I think this young generation isn't, maybe just things are so accessible on their phones. I don't know. But even then, Google, oh, I didn't know, where do I get this from? Well, we have a whole file on our Dropbox that show you things, they're quite clearly marked. Just, this new generation just really, it's either this way or that way. It's really quite strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So growing a bit. So growing a business is obviously you're
You
finding.
become like a parent, really.
Yeah. It's leadership is hard.
Yeah.
And have I think so. So growing a business, obviously, that's that I think everyone. I'm a recruiter, and still I find growing a business hard, and I help find people for businesses. So I hear lots of people's pain points, and and I understand from you just clearly,
things are expensive.
Growing, and also just attitudinal highs are what are key to you, and obviously that's quite hard to find from what you've said. But what I'm also very interested about some of these experts that you've got around you.
Yeah.
Where do you find these people who advise you to list? Where do you find the top quality financiers that can help you scale your business?
CFOs, we found a fantastic CFO from the UK. He was introduced to us from our corporate advisor.
Right.
And he's able to, I don't know, manage all the regulatory authority there, and to make sure that we file things on time, which is very, very important in the UK.
Yeah.
And get around things that we need to get around. They're seasoned CFOs. That is their job. That is their seasoned CFOs. They might serve as CFO for my company, for another company. They could be board members, etc. But we are required to have a CFO, full-time CFO, whether he's a non-exec or exec, on our board full-time.
Okay.
Who else? I don't know. Corporate advisors we have, it's everybody sort of at the PLC level, everybody sort of pulls together a group, and then you just kind of become one machine that's moving the business forward.
And are you the type of person that's very comfortable delegating, or do you want to know everything?
I don't mind delegating. I just don't like being second to know or so I don't like depending on someone for an answer. I don't like, oh, well, he said, I spoke to this person. He said, it'll be fine. We'll get to you tomorrow. No. I want this person to tell me exactly what he told you, because then it just goes around in a circle, right? He said this, he said that, she said that. No. I'm going to call this person and let so-and-so tell me exactly what he told you. And in the beginning, it was like, because you're sort of overwhelmed by, your auditor, your chief auditor, your CFO, your corporate advisor, your lawyers, and everything comes at you at such, you're like, okay, so
I can imagine,
and then now it's been we're almost 2 years in now. No, you tell me exactly what you said to him, and no, don't say to him anymore. And there's no excuse now that there's phone. I don't care. Call me. People don't call people anymore. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
People WhatsApp, nobody calls.
Yeah.
Which really bothers me.
Yeah.
Put a call in. If it's important, call me. And if you can't afford the call, I'll call you. No problem. Absolutely no problem. I'll call.
That might be a generational thing, by the way. I like calling.
Yeah,
but,
calling. What's wrong
with my
calling?
sister, who's 10 years younger than me, she'll do her best to avoid calling me. It'll be a WhatsApp. Yeah.
Hi, how are you? I haven't spoken to you in 3 years. What do you want me to tell you what's going on in 3 years by hi, how are you on WhatsApp? Mate, call me. Call me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody's hiding behind a phone these days. So,
I've got a last question for you.
Yep.
Do you love your business?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I really enjoy it. I love this, Juice King. I do enjoy it. I think we're doing a good job. I know that we are like all our customers are very happy with what we come up with. We're constantly innovating. We're constantly, trying to be cutting edge, if I can say that. We just came up with a new range of collagen-based juices. I think you guys tried one of them.
Very tasty.
So functional beverages on everybody's mind right now. So that was our first range, 5 or 6 juices that went into Spinneys and Waitrose. That was our first crack into Spinneys and Waitrose. Originally, it was always back and forth with them. We offer so many juices already. Why would we do another juice company? So please come up with a new range of juices that we don't have on the shelves. So we teamed up with a company called Sacred Glow that they offer premium quality collagen powder, and we came up with a new set of 6 juices, and we managed to put them on the shelves, and then from Spinneys to everywhere.
Yeah.
So everybody wants collagen. I drink it myself. You always want to look young and have the beautiful skin, hair, and nails. I would admit.
Yeah.
So constant innovation. I do like that. I like that. People know who I am. I like to be the face. I should be more. I watch what you do, and I should be more. I should be writing blogs. I should be speaking. I should be doing videos. LinkedIn is just. You told me.
I can give you some
tips.
tips.
I know you could. I don't even know how to manage. LinkedIn. Things like that. I like to know, but I don't know, man. Do I have so much? Do we have time? I have to dedicate more time. There's not enough hours in the day.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
We're trying.
You're doing great. Listen, if everyone wants to reach out to you and find out some more information about Essentially, or just ask some advice from you, what's the best way to reach you?
I can give you my personal number. Sorry.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Are you on LinkedIn?
I am, of course, Raja Abuljebain on
Okay.
LinkedIn. Essentially is on there. Essentially.ae. Yeah, we're everywhere.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Raja, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. This is easy. Should we keep going?
Yeah, we could do.
We could do.
We'll
Yeah.
do a part 2 in the
We'll
factory.
do a part. Yes, I'd like that.
Thanks
I'd like
a lot.
that.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yes.
No, thank you.